Welcome to episode number 6 of the InnerTuning podcast. My name is Richard Matisaw. InnerTuning is a practical system for spiritual and psychological well-being. It was created by Sri Shyamji Bhatnagar and is based on his discovery of the Microchakras, which are 147 stages of human awareness from complete ignorance all the way to enlightenment. Sri Shyamji is the founder of the Chakra Institute, co-author of the book Microchakras, and a world-renowned master of naada yoga, the yoga of sound. To learn more about Sri Shyamji and three-body purifications, visit the website chakrainstitute.com. In today's episode, we will talk about the inner guru. We will learn which microchakra represents the inner guru, how it opens, how it correlates to other macro and micro chakras, and the difference between the inner and outer guru. So to start, Sri Shyamji, could you please explain this concept of the inner guru?
It is a concept based on the light of the fifth chakra that enters through our ears, through thinking, and the quality of sound we are surrounded by. When the sources of sound are harsh, crude, too noisy, too loud, then the light of the fifth chakra, which is very delicate because it is the ultraviolet light. Most people don't absorb that ultraviolet light because they just come down to sky blue or deep blue or peacock blue, those types of lights they get from the fifth chakra. Inner guru comes into the picture when the ultraviolet light, between the violet and ultraviolet, that light only comes when you honor silence. We live in a very loud culture. Our music is very loud. Our emotions are too gross. Subtlety of life happens with the refinement of listening. What do you listen to determines the quality of akasha you are absorbing over and over and over again. All depends on what you hear. When you start to hear music that is composed in a 10-beat cycle, everybody is used to foxtrot and waltzes, fours and sixes. Everybody is familiar with those two rhythms. Where are the higher rhythms? 10-beat cycle, 12-beat cycle, 14-beat cycle, 16-beat cycle. There are compositions. There are still people in India who hear them and look at their state of awareness. Their inner guru is awake or nearly awake. So first thing first, you allow variety of sounds that you hear each day. And with that, what will happen is that you will begin to become so quiet inside. Your inner ear and your outer ears, they are in a triangular way and very stable. That stability comes when you hear music in which both hemispheres of your brain are absolutely engrossed. To be able to chant a mantra in 12-beat cycle, your left brain is engaged with the rhythm and your right brain is engaged with the melody. And you've got to keep them in rhythm or else you're going to get very bad reviews in the newspapers tomorrow if you are a singer, a classical singer.
Is it beneficial to listen to ragas? Is that something you're pointing to here?
Absolutely. Especially singing, which is more difficult, so you can start with flute. You can start with violin. You can find 16-beat, 14, 12 beats, 10 beats compositions in these instruments that I just mentioned. Then you can move on to sarod or sitar, and then gradually get to the singing. Singing is the most difficult art to hear. And to sing, of course, will be the next step. So when you prepare yourself and absorb a better quality of akasha by listening to more complex sounds rather than just the 4s and 6s, which will keep you tied to your body, that's body music. There is more than body music. There is body music, there is intellectual music, then there is a higher feeling music, and then there is Surya Akasha producing methodology of sounds. That is what is needed to awaken the inner guru.
And is that the basis of Naada Yoga? Is it focused on creating sounds that provide Surya Akash?
That is correct. Naada Yoga teaches us how to breathe, how to produce sounds, when to raise the volume of the sound without hurting your hearing ability. You know, we have this physical body, yes, and we try to make it very strong, and we try to do all kinds of good things to nourish it, which is perfectly fine. But then physical body is only a physical instrument, but in it resides something much more precious than the physical body. And that is your ability to attend to focus. It is what is to be, it's like a 6th chakra mind which knows how to pay attention. Because when you pay attention, then you can sit near yourself. To sit near yourself. Self maybe is residing in us, but most of us are not aware of that self. Most of us are aware of the ego self that gets easily pleased and easily disturbed. We have higher chakra minds, inner guru says.
That is a good segue to this idea of the subtle body and maybe a bit about the mechanics of the microchakras. So could you explain a little bit more about the 6th chakra and which microchakra is related to the inner guru and how those two are correlated?
Mm-hmm. 6th microchakra in the 5th chakra is the mind of the 5th chakra. You see, every chakra gives birth to a mind. 1st chakra mind tells you are this body. 2nd chakra mind tells you are this gender. 3rd chakra mind tells you that you are a teacher. 4th chakra mind tells you your identities with your nation, religion, and so on. 5th chakra mind is the inner guru. That tells you that the lower chakra minds are only a supportive factors just for survival. Just for survival. Once you are comfortably surviving, it's natural to discover the 6th microchakra of the 5th, Vishuddha chakra, pure, ultra pure chakra. To facilitate that, you have to be quiet, absolutely still. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes each day. That will invoke the presence of the 5th microchakra in the 6th. So it's a 5-6, 6-5 connection according to microchakra psychology. Once you make that connection, your inner guru will not fall asleep again.
Will you elaborate on that specific connection, what that means to make that connection?
Honoring the silence. Those are the practices you do. You see, when you do the practices, the talent of what you will develop will vary from person to person. because some people are so stuck in bad memories from early childhood that they can't get over them. There are other people who can. So if there are two different people in two different states of mind, obviously the result is going to be very different, even if the inner guru does awaken.
And the inner guru awakening, does that mean that there is an opening of some sort, some degree in the sixth of the fifth? And is there a specific mantra for people to work with to try to create that opening? Because I know there's different degrees of opening, but a little opening is obviously a start.
Yes, there is a mantra called Guru BVM. It says Guru, the first word is Guru, and then BVM. BVM stands for Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. That mantra is quite useful.
So I want to go back for a second to silence and this connection with the different parts of the brain. And I guess from the BVM point of view, that's connecting those different parts of the brain. So maybe you can comment on why that mantra works that way.
Okay, let me try to connect that. Yes, fifth microchakra in the sixth, it really brings the light of the sixth chakra down to the sixth microchakra of the fifth. And this mantra, Guru BVM, it directs your left hemisphere of the brain, your right hemisphere of the brain, as well as your animal brain, which is way back in the head. All three of them in a downward pointing triangle come down to the fifth chakra, mind, which is the inner guru. So now you definitely are utilizing the light of the sixth chakra, which is coming to you through the fifth of the sixth, and then recipient is the sixth microchakra of the fifth. When this Surya Akasha starts to flow in the body, automatically healing is taking place. It's feeding your immune system. Now you just have to remember that be in the present moment as you are being directed by the inner guru. So there will be a struggle period. The inner guru is saying, be in the present moment. And the memory says that, oh, I was a deprived baby. And that is something that the inner guru will have to deal with. And the inner chatter will then become meaningful. Because you have a therapist in the form of inner guru, and you have the difficulties that the ego mind is narrating. So there is a communication. Healing process takes place when you communicate, when you express yourself. Let the ego mind express itself, let the inner guru express himself, and all you get in the end is harmony.
That's so beautiful. I wish it were as easy as you make it sound. Could you please explain how the outer guru comes into play here?
Outer guru, when you meet a real guru, the guru takes it upon himself or herself, a responsibility to help you awaken your own inner guru. And as long as that is not taking place, you will need the outer guru. Once your inner guru is awake, it is the duty of the outer guru to say, now it's time for you to fly on your own, because you have the inner guru awake. And then any difficulty that comes, physical, emotional, or any other, your inner guru is there to guide you. That's why it's called an inner guide, inner guru. What does the word guru mean, first of all? Gu and ru, there are two words. Gu means ignorance. Avidya, it's called. Ignorance. Ru, remover. The one who removes the ignorance is the guru. So if your inner guru is awake, then you already know that you live in this body. You are not this body. You live in it. Because there was a time you entered and there is a time you will exit.
So, if people don't have a microchakra chart, then how do you have confidence on the state of your inner guru?
Well, what we can do is to make an approximate chart by looking at the book called Microchakras, download a blank chart from the website, and start marking what you think is open in you and what is blocked in you. 98 microchakras have been elaborately discussed in the book Microchakras. You can make your own chart. And once you see that there is a pattern of a block, for example, if your fourth is blocked in more than one, fourth microchakra is blocked in more than one chakra in your chart, of course the heart chakra mantra will help. If you have a fifth microchakra blocked more than twice or three times or four times, then a fifth chakra mantra will help. So you can be your own guru in the meantime. That's the reason I wrote the book and I made the mantras. So you can be your own teacher. That way you don't have to depend on the outer teachers, because these days outer teachers are not very well equipped to deal with their own microchakras. So therefore, I thought that it will be a best service to the humanity to liberate you from the outer teachers. If you don't find a good one, then you can make your own chart, guide yourself.
Okay. In the last episode, episode number 5, you explained how each of the 5 chakras has an element, and you went through that. And then when you get to the 6th chakra, I'm assuming you're sort of above the elements, both physically and subtly. What happens there as far as the elements are concerned, and how does the 6th chakra serve as what I've heard you say before, quote unquote, commander-in-chief, and how does that connect with the inner guru?
The health of the commander-in-chief is very important, and that health of the 6th chakra mind totally depends on how you use the light. Just as the 5th chakra health depended on what kind of sounds you hear all day, the health of your 5th chakra mind depends on that. So the use of light. If your pineal gland, which is the light-sensitive gland in the body, the only one, if it responds properly to the light, because you are the one who has to manage that. If you stay up till midnight, you are really gambling with your pineal gland. It's not a very good chance that you will win, because the pineal gland knows to produce melatonin at night and in the daytime serotonin. So if you force your mind, if you force your brain to produce serotonin in the middle of the night, well, for some time you can get away with it, but eventually you will pay a price for it, because it's not the right thing to do to it. Because it does not have any feeling nerves, so you don't feel any pain, but you're doing a damage to it. And in your old age, you will probably pay a much bigger price for having misused the pineal gland.
So to avoid paying this price, it behooves us to keep the pineal gland healthy by staying in sync with the circadian rhythm and keeping the balance in the sixth chakra mind. And as you often explain, that mind, the sixth chakra mind, is considered the commander-in-chief with the reins or the control over the elemental or lower five minds. So the stronger the sixth chakra mind becomes, the more masterfully we can manage the sensory-oriented minds to do their work and then come back to equanimity and balance. Is this a summary that makes sense?
It is, because there is an interconnection, there is an interconnectivity. So it's just like you cannot, like the British poet said, you cannot move a flower without stirring a star. It's interdependence. When the sixth chakra mind, the commander-in-chief, is in charge. But if the commander-in-chief is being given different kind of drugs, so to speak, which is to say that you are artificially trying to stimulate it with the artificial light, which is what we do at night, then of course it's going to take a toll because it's not natural. And the health of the pineal gland depends on your exposure to the light. That's why we say wake up 90 minutes before the sunrise if you are in the United States, this part. Because then it gives you a time to be able to synchronize yourself at the time when the dawn occurs, when the sun is rising, because something will happen in your breath. There's a deeper connection with the sun and your own breathing mechanism. If you will watch your breathing at the time of dawn, you will notice that both of your nostrils are evenly open, absolutely evenly, and there is such a calm. A few seconds later, after the sun has risen, either the left will be dominant or the right will be dominant. Swar yogis have even calculated to tell you which side should be dominant on which day of the month, lunar month. We make a calendar based on that. And that calendar is a complementary calendar available on our website. You can read, there's a lot of explanation that will help your sixth chakra health.
Yeah, and it seems to be logical. We live in the solar system, and nobody can dispute that. So if the sun is the source of life and light and everything in this system that we're a part of, if we're not in connection and in rhythm with the rhythms of the sun, then obviously we're feeling out of whack.
You can also see that the rate of depression in the countries where there is less sun, especially in the Scandinavian countries. You remember?
So that brings up a good question. So if I live in a place where I'm not having clear sunrise and clear sunset, obviously it's getting lighter out, but I could say to myself as a saboteur, I could say, well, I can get up a little bit later, or I don't have to worry as much because I'm not even seeing the sunrise. What would you say to that?
Well, they are causing all kinds of conditions in which they will be stuck in the ignorance even deeper. The mind of the second and third chakras is restless by nature. That's where the commander-in-chief comes into the picture. If you have 5 horses in a carriage and you have the reins in your hand, you got to really hold tight. Those horses that are troublesome, you hold them in a different way than the horses that are not so much of a trouble.
And as a testimonial for people that are listening, I can tell you that I'm a skeptic, I'm a doubter. I have plenty of saboteurs that have a lot of juice. And I've been working with Sri Shyamji for 10 years or more. And the times that I've surrendered and say, okay, I'm just going to listen and do this work with the, before sunrise and getting in sync with the sun. And when I have, I've been on top of the horse. And when my saboteurs have been in charge, I've been dragged around by the horse. And so, I know that. And I also know when I'm going one way or the other. But it took me hundreds of times of hearing these lessons before I finally said, okay, I'm really going to do it. And it's been incredibly beneficial, just embracing it. So I hope some people that are listening will just give this a try it out for 30, 40 days. And, they say 40 days, which is called the chilla, is a good way to create a new habit. Why not do that experiment on yourself and see how it works? Sri Shyamji, I wanted to ask you as one of the final questions today, we've talked about the 5 lower minds and the 5 elements. We've talked about the commander-in-chief. And we've also talked about the body being sort of full of tamas. And then we've talked a little bit about rajas. But to tie it up here, could you explain what the 3 gunas are and how they're correlated to the light that's balancing the 6th chakra and also impacting the inner guru?
Yes. 6th chakra mind, as much as it can control the lower 5 minds, its best contribution is to help you create a balance between the 3 natural qualities of nature. And the 3 qualities are inertia, high energy, and truth. Through high energy, you discover the truth. While the physical body is victim of inertia, the middle chakra minds are energetic. Whether it's the 2nd chakra, 3rd, 4th, they are full of passion, zeal. And they are capable to lead you with the guidance of your own inner guru. In the beginning, maybe outer guru, towards the truth of who you really are. Who you really are. Who am I? Can only be answered when there is a balance between the 3 gunas, they are called, qualities of nature. Heavy energy, very high energy, and then the revelation of the truth. Because who you are is the same as who I am. So we are relatives. Therefore, namaste. Sadashivaya. Sadashivaya. Om Sadashivaya. Sadashivaya. Om Sadashivaya. Sada Shivaya. Sada Shivaya.